Ex-GRU officer Viktor Suvorov recounted the words of Chief of Soviet General Staff Matvei Zakharov. The disinformation service must be all-powerful, like nuclear weapons, and global, like satellites. Deception, or Maskirovka, has been the most successful weapon of the Communist International. Georgy Arbatov, advisor on relations between America and the Soviet Union under Gorbachev, told an American audience at UC Irvine, "We are going to do something terrible to you. We are going to deprive you of an enemy." This is exactly what they did. Soviet President Gorbachev stated in Warsaw in 1988,
"A new image of socialism prevents the traditionally right-wing circles in the West to continue dominating the world, as they did by using a stereotyped image of the enemy, the communist totalitarian monster, Mikhail Gorbachev, 1988.
KGB defector Anatoly Golitsyn defected in 1961 and explained how the greatest deception of our time would take place.
He wrote a book in 1984 called New Lies for Old, and in the book he said that Soviet bloc was going to change. It was going to liberalize. They were going to adopt democratic institutions. They were going to import capitalism. The Warsaw Pact alliance was going to go away. And he said it was all part of a strategy to change the Eastern Bloc to make it more effective against the West, against America primarily. His book, he offered around 140 predictions, falsifiable predictions in his book. Within 7 years of writing the book, 93 to 94% of those predictions had come true. His model was based on the idea that Russia had a long-range policy. The Soviet Russia's long-range policy was, in the words of Sun Tzu, to hold out baits, entice the enemy, feign disorder, and then destroy him. That the disorders in Russia, that the collapse of communism has been a controlled collapse, with many errors and much that genuinely collapsed away, but knowing that they could, in the wake of that, with the West, with the US lowering its guard, they could come back, they could reemerge and get a better strategic position than they had in the 1980s.
He explained the false Sino-Soviet split would be mended. Then Russia and China would come together with one clenched fist against the West. The war in Ukraine lifted the veil of propaganda and revealed the hidden hand. Let's go over some facts. Putin hosted the World Communist Youth Meeting in Sochi on 100th anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution, and again this year. They give aid to every communist country on earth. They re-erect statues of Lenin in occupied Ukraine. They re-erect the statue of Felix Dzerzhinsky in his old spot in front of the SVR on his birthday, September 11th last year. They re-established the Soviet Smersh. They are aligned with communist North Korea, receiving arms and reportedly troops. Aligned with communist China, also receiving arms and troops. Aligned with communist Nicaragua under Daniel Ortega, stationing military 1,000 miles from Florida. Aligned with socialist Venezuela. Aligned with communist South African ANC, a front for the Communist Party. Aligned with the Marxist revolutionaries in Niger coup. Russian paper Nezavisimaya Gazeta reported that the Russian government is beginning a program of re-Sovietization on December 19th, 2023. Putin states he never burned his party card, he likes socialist ideas, and Marxism is just like Christianity.
Может быть, я сейчас скажу нечто такое, что кому-то может и не понравится, но я скажу так, как я думаю. Были вот те совсем жесткие богоборческие годы, когда уничтожали священников, разрушали храмы. Но одновременно ведь создавали новую религию. Вот коммунистическая идеология, она очень сродни христианству на самом деле. Свобода, братство, равенство. Это справедливость. Это же все заложено в Священном Писании. Это все там есть. А кодекс строителей коммунизма. Это сублимация, это просто такая примитивная выдержка из Библии. Ничего там нового не придумали. Вот смотри, Ленина положили в мавзолей. Ну, чем это отличается от мощей святых для православных, для просто для христиан?
They recently erected a statue to communist Castro in Moscow. They're aligned with Yemen. KGB officer Nikolai Leonov's office in 1975 called for establishing a Soviet foothold in the Arabian Peninsula, the most Marxist country in the region, South Yemen. Clearly, we did not understand what Perestroika was. The communist bloc is stronger now than it was during the Cold War. The final war between the East and West is now inevitable. The West needs to prepare for Lenin.